We're here again. We're doing a follow up today with Kyle Goodman, who is the creator of Here Walks Monsters. This is a very exciting follow up show for us because
Welcome back.
welcome back. Thank you, Rob, and welcome back, Kyle. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself because I'm excited about what I'm about to talk about here. But yes,
Yeah,
guys,
I'm
welcome
excited
back.
for you.
Thank you for being here. So, what I've got here is I've got a package that is actually addressed to me from Mr. Kyle Goodman himself. And I've been waiting for this moment to open this up. So just give me a second here and we're gonna go ahead and see what we got inside. This is like one of those reveal shows that everybody watches on
Yeah,
YouTube.
it's a podcast or an unboxing video. What are we
It's an
doing?
unboxing. It's like the
it's
what you
it's
call it with
both.
they open up the eggs
Yeah,
with the stuff in it. And
best of both worlds.
so he's wrapped it up really nice for me. I got all this tape I
They
got to
all
get
have
through.
they all have pull tabs, so you should just be able to like literally just like the little
Oh
corners of the
shit!
tape. Yeah.
Look at that. I just did it, guys. I did it. Separate. Okay. I'm on my way here to success.
Same thing with
Um,
those.
yeah. Apparently, I didn't remember my untaping classes in college.
Hey,
Uh,
my untaping classes in college were just horrible, and they taught me all the wrong things. So you didn't miss out on much.
so first of all, what I got here is I got this. Let me see. Is this a sticker or just an M? It's a
Yes,
sticker. So I've got
Hold it
first of
up.
all up
I gotta
here.
see it.
I've got a Here Walks Monsters sticker,
Nice.
which I'm
that one is no
awesome.
longer in production. BT
That one
Dubs.
is that's no longer in
Ooh,
production. So sorry guys, I
limited
got it. I'm not
run.
giving it up. Oh wow. Okay. So this is really cool, and I didn't expect this. So I've got two copies here actually. I've got this cover here, which actually he's got on display there,
Yep.
and that is awesome. You see that art there, Rob?
Yeah,
So that is
that's
the
amazing.
first ever print. That's Here Walks Monsters. Here Walks Monsters issue 1 from Florida SuperCon. We did a limited run. We did 50 of the trades like he has, and then 25 spot foils. The only ones that are remaining of any of that run are the 10 that are left on my Kickstarter right now. I took 10 out of the print run, just have on the Kickstarter for issue 1. Um, but yeah, that was done by Tina Michelle. She's a very talented artist based out of Miami, and she actually used me as the model for that artwork because
Nice.
That's
that.
beautiful. It's the coloring is beautiful. The red, I love red.
Oh yeah, she
And
knocked it out the park.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like it almost reminds me of, and I'm sorry if this is insulting to you, but I love the show. This almost is like reminiscent of like Sons of Anarchy type stuff.
Oh,
I
I
really
that's
like
one of my
the
favorite shows of all time. So
like
you
I
definitely that was
love the
it, that is a compliment if I ever heard
yeah.
one.
I mean this looks like some it looks like some badass biker artwork or something. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, I
The
feel
color
that.
is beautiful. I mean
Yeah, she did
that's
That's
really
the
a
nice.
shading
solid.
on that. It's absolutely insane. And then so like on the foils, there's only 25 of them. The white on the mask and the white in the hair was silver foil.
Oh, nice.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. That's
I don't even have one of those left. Like
oh
I
wow.
didn't. My personal copy got sold somewhere, and I'm like, oh well, I guess I
Wow.
don't have one of those now. That's fine.
Now
Plenty more, I guess.
I also want to say that we got this cover here as well.
So that's
Trying
the
to get it up
standard one
there.
right there,
So
not the
that's the
variant.
ash can. So that's the first 10 pages. Because the other,
Ah,
besides the SuperCon one, there is no printing of number 1 yet. That was the
oh,
only
okay.
one. We did 75 total, 50 trade and 25 spot foils. Those were like a super exclusive. Like before the Kickstarter even launched, we did this small print run as like, and if you open it on the back of the exclusive, it literally says Florida SuperCon exclusive because it is an official
Just there for
approved
that.
exclusive by them.
Nice.
So yeah, it was pretty
I'm not
awesome.
gonna lie. I don't know if
So
I want to. I'm usually the guy that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play with my toys because I spend good money on my toys, and honestly, I don't think I'm gonna open these. Um, you know what I
yeah,
need
I
to do
got a
is
question
Understandably
real
so.
quick.
Yeah,
You said it was an ash can.
yeah. So
What do you mean by that?
now that term has been kind of adopted by the indie comic community now to mean something a little bit different. It initially was in the early days of comic books, in order to get their ideas out first before the competing companies, like let's say Marvel would print what they call an ash can, which was literally a small print one that they literally threw right into the ash can. But because they printed it, they owned the copyright.
Okay. So
Gotcha.
it's like
Okay.
it's a copyright
Yeah, just
kind of platform.
let's do
Yeah,
it so
and
we
then
keep the copyright. Yeah.
exactly. And then, but now
Gotcha.
what a lot of indie creators like myself do is we kind of do it with to not only get the copyright, but we also make it like a little preview. The standard Ashcan
Yeah,
is usually
nice.
about 7 pages. I went with 10 because I wanted like right at the 10th page was the perfect like little stopping off point for a preview, so you like know what you're getting, but it didn't give
Nice.
too much away. And then issue 1 is those 10 pages plus an additional 10 to make the
Nice.
whole first issue.
Okay.
And that first issue, I think the final 10 pages, it's like night and day. Because both me and Martin, this is our first comic book we ever printed, had worked on, or anything like that. How someone as talented as he did the cover of the ash can as well as the interior art of issue 1. Has never been approached by anyone to do even a cover or an exclusive is beyond me. But so I think we were kind of reserved and like didn't take any risks in those first 10 pages. And then after I took those 10 pages and I did a MegaCon exclusive. So Tina did another cover for me that has the ash can. And we went to MegaCon, which was in Orlando, completely sold out. It was a chrome hollow foil cover, super badass. Um, I brought one of the blanks to Arthur Sadum, who is the guy who did the artwork for Marvel Zombies and The Walking Dead.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
When he opened it, looked through it, and was like, "Wow, this is pretty good." Who you said made this? Me. So you're the artist? No, I'm the writer. My artist is from Canada. He's like, so who published it? Me. He's like, then he starts looking. He's like, this is actually pretty good. So like that, and then a couple other really talented artists who do mainly horror stuff also looked at it and gave it like the nod, like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Like this is not like just something that someone threw together that isn't gonna do anything. This could actually be a legitimate comic book. They all kind of gave me this like, I was like, you know what? They treated me like I was a peer. And you know what? Guess what? As of right this second, I am. And when we
Yeah.
did went to go when I went to start writing the next 10 pages, it was done in like 4 hours. I just wrote 10 pages straight. And then like we went with when I work with my artist, we do a lot of rewrites and rescripting as we do the issue because he makes it flow better. So sometimes like I'll have an idea for say 4 panels and he's like, I can make it work better with 3 and then do this to move into the next scene. I'm like, okay, that works better. So we had to actually rescript it because what is said on that panel still has to be said. So I had to figure out a
Yeah.
way to make this work. But yeah, we finalized that script in probably the last 10 pages in probably 3-4 days. And
Nice.
he started working. He was done with like all the art in like a month. I was like, dude, what? He's
Nice.
like, I couldn't stop. He's like, I couldn't stop. I'm like, all right, let's freaking do this. And
Yeah, I like that you
here we
have that
are.
relationship with your artist. I know, like with a lot of older comics, like finding out about the past of Stan Lee and all
Mhm.
these, late greats in the industry, they would just be like, "This is it, draw it, just
Yeah.
do it." And
Well,
having
that's
that back
still
and forth, it makes it feel like, as you said, it flows better. It just kind of progresses as a more
yeah.
fluid story and art combination. I do like
From
that you have that.
from what I've heard, that's still the case for most artists and writers. There aren't many that I guess it's my naivete or my I'm not a comic book writer coming into the world like I'm gonna do it my way or not at all kind of thing. So like
Well, I mean, I got to
it's
say,
you know
from an artist perspective, though, I mean, you're always going to get a better product if you let the artist put some of their own passion into it. You're always going to
100%.
get a better product. Artists are always going to want to put in their own little touch or at least kind of, add their opinion. Of quite honestly, I mean, like even when I go to my tattoo artist or things like
Yep.
that, I mean, like, hey, what do you think? Help me design this, because the more they like it, the more they're into it, the more, the better the
Yeah.
product is. So
And not only that, but they're the ones who do the art. They're the artist. So if they're
yeah,
telling someone who doesn't do the art that this is how it should look because of this, the X, Y, and Z, I'm
yeah,
not gonna argue with them. That
Yeah.
he the guy knows what he's talking about. Go ahead, let's see
yeah,
it. And very seldom. There's been a couple times where he's been like, "Let me try this, see what you think," and I've been like, "Yeah, I don't like that. We gotta figure something else out." It was only like once or twice. Most of the time when he said, "Let me do this," I've always been like, yeah, that's better than how I saw it in my head. That works. Let's go. Like, I'll re-script it to make it work perfect. Let's go. Because when I did the ash can, I made the mistake of not re-scripting it before I handed it to the letterer. So the letterer was like, um, "This don't make sense." I'm like, "Oh crap. I'm sorry. We re-scripted 3 of those pages. Let me redo this whole script for you real quick." And now I'm doing it as we go so that when the art's done, I can just go, "Here you go. You're ready. Good to go."
awesome.
Nice.
So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I was showing this that I got this other cover here. Do you want to tell us anything about this cover? I think we started to discuss it, and then we kind of got off topic here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
um,
probably my bad.
it's all good. I mean, it's all good information. I just wanted to, first of all, display, because all the art here is amazing. I love this
Yeah.
guy smoking a cigarette like he's, cool as hell. Like it's just, yeah, this is going on right now, but I'm just, smoking my cigarette
So
here. I like that.
that's the
Um,
ash can, and then the guy who did the interior work, he did the coloring and the art. His name is Martin Olivier Dejanay. He did the cover art as well for the ash can, as well as covers A, B, and C for issue 1. Um, so the funny story about that, the guy on that cover was actually interior art at one point, and we
okay.
had to cut it
Oh.
because it didn't fit. Because we went
Okay.
with there's a part where the guy is smoking, the main character, but we made it so that he was like when he was blowing it up, and it turned into like the tire squealing of the van. So like it like kind of warped into a whole top, like almost like a piece instead of just individual panels. So we
Okay.
were like, yeah, so we're gonna take that out. And I was like, but save that. We're gonna use that for something. And then when we were trying to come up with the cover, we're like, neither one of us, we were like, the hell do we? I don't know what to do. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that guy
What
smoking. Remember
about
we took
that
that out.
last panel? Yeah.
Put that as that's the main part, and then have a zombie on the other side, like he's like against the front door, and there's a zombie in the window. He's like, oh, done, and he had it boom within like an hour and a half. I'm like, dude, you're a machine. Like this is
Nice.
crazy.
It looks awesome.
Yeah,
I,
he's so
I, I like it
talented.
a
This is not
lot.
even funny.
I mean,
Like,
both covers. I mean, if I had to choose, it'd be really hard. Both covers, I think, are really good. I absolutely love the red special cover you had made, but they're both super super good artwork.
yeah.
And that's
No,
that's
when people, I've actually had people ask me like, which is your favorite cover, and I'm like, I don't know. Like they're all like everything and that's another thing that I've made sure, because I'm a collector and a reader first. Like I want the product I'm putting out to be something that someone like me would go, damn, I gotta have that.
yeah.
And Martin and Tina, they absolutely just knocking it out the park. Everything that I've given them has just been above and beyond what I thought could be done. It's
If
been
I saw either
I'm
one of those covers in
blessed.
a comic book store and I was walking along, I would definitely stop and check that out. I would have to see what that was about. They're both really, they draw you in for sure.
That's and that, yes.
It's
That's
like that's what I
exactly what I was
wanted.
going for.
Yes.
So last time we spoke, we were kind of talking about like what you were gonna do, and it's been some time now. I think that was damn near about 2 months ago or something that we
Yep.
did the first meeting about this. And so what have you been doing since? What's going on? Give us the kind of process of where you've been at.
Okay. Well, since we last spoke, I've been to a couple conventions and been talking to people about it. Both creators, retailers to possibly carry it in their stores, things like that. But the biggest thing I've done is actually launch the Kickstarter for issue 1. As of right now, it is at 92% funded.
Okay.
Um, we have 17 or 18 days left. I'm not exactly sure what number it is, but it's close to that. It's under 2 weeks. Sorry, 3 weeks. Sorry, because it ends on Halloween at midnight.
Oh,
So I figured
that's spooky.
we have
That's
we have
a
we have a
good
horror
date for a
title.
Kickstarter. I like it.
I was like, when does it end? At midnight on Halloween.
So spooky.
I try.
That's a great. That's awesome. Hopefully, you can give me a link so I can include it when I put it up here. If
Yes,
there's
sir.
anybody that's
Definitely.
listening or checks out the show that wants to go ahead and throw a little bit at that. You do have some kind of people want to donate enough to the Kickstarter. There were some special, I don't know what I want to say there, not prizes, but
Kickstarter
special,
benefits. It's
benefits.
most
Yeah,
Kickstarters
They-
have the
They
tiers and
call
whatnot.
they call them stretch goals.
stretch goals.
So you get
Okay.
free stuff. So the way I didn't do this at all for my ash can when I did on Kickstarter, because it was my first one. I didn't get it. I didn't ask anyone for help. I didn't do it. I just said I'm doing it. Let's go. But with this one, I did a lot more planning and a lot more dedication to the actual campaign itself. Because when I first did it, I kind of was like, if it happens, great. If not, I can always try again. But now after the Ashcan was fully funded and I've pretty much sold out of 2 convention exclusives, I'm at the point now where like, no. I
has
need
to
to get this. It has to happen. We were gonna get this
This
funded.
needs to happen.
So I focused real hard on that. So far, we've upgraded the covers twice. And no, like you don't pay any more. So like the regular cover was $10 because I $10 for that, and then it was upgraded to the cardstock, and then now we hit another stretch goal. Now it's a chrome cover, so it's going to be a whole
Ooh.
foil cover. Anyone who backs the Kickstarter, so any cover A is now a foil for the same price.
Okay.
And if once we hit the fully funded, that will be the next stretch goal, which will be the second trading card. So the artist drew up a couple of trading cards. They're going to be kind of like sports inspired. So like on the
Okay.
back will be stats and bio and things like that. But there's going to be for the 2 main characters, and then there's a third one that's going to be a medal that I have not announced what it is or shown any of the artwork yet for it because it's supposed to be hidden. Like I want them
Ooh.
to get
A
close to it,
mystery reward.
and it's going to be a medal card. So anyone who at this point, if you backed it or back it before it ends, you're going to get free Here Walks Monster stickers, bookmarks. Your cover A has been upgraded to a chromium. You already have the Karen, which is the supporting main character. The next stretch goal will be the Shadim, the main character card, and then the next one after that will be the medal card. Then after that, the last stretch goal I did, which was so ambitious that I didn't think I was gonna even need any more than that. But if it hits it, that'd be so awesome. I'm gonna do a special exclusive with a Marvel Comics artist. So there'll be a Here Walks Monsters #1 exclusive done by a Marvel artist, who's done a lot of Marvel stuff. He's worked on Wolverine, among other comics as well, in DC and some indies as well. And it will only be available to people who back the Kickstarter.
Man, you're
So-
gonna end up
Yeah.
making me have to find some more space for comics because I've already got a lot of comics hanging in my studio, and I'm gonna need a whole new wall. I'm gonna have to bring
There's
in
some blank space
construction.
behind you.
Well, that's all low. I mean, it looks like it makes sense in my background here, but if you're actually in the room, it's low. And I'm about to put up my pop case, but that's a whole nother story. We're not here to talk
whole
about
nother
me and
story.
my decorating.
No.
But and I was talking to Kyle earlier, and he said if you donate, just an absurd amount of money, the next thing you get is a diamond-plated cover. We didn't say that at all. I'm just teasing, but this keeps getting better and better. So I'm just like, okay,
I'm trying to
next?
think. Well, I mean, if we somehow hit the final stretch goal and go even past that, because I did it in increments of 500. So if we go 500 past my last stretch goal, I might try to maybe include some metal comics because I have there. You can do metal covers as well. So
What?
not diamond plated.
Can you really do
Yeah.
a metal? I want a metal cover. I'm getting that somehow.
There will definitely be metal covers coming for Here Walks Monsters. That's 100%. I'm going to do some. I just didn't want to get too ambitious on the on the Kickstarter. I'm hoping that we fully fund the Kickstarter, and then all the extras that I have, I fully sell out, and people want more. I have to go to a second print. Because I'm not ordering thousands and thousands. The idea is to order a total of between 500 and 600 total prints between the 4 covers. So it depends how the Kickstarter goes, because I might increase the order if I can, but I want it to be, especially the Kickstarter ones, I want it to be so exclusive that, like, if this becomes one of the next big thing, like I think it could potentially be, everyone who backed it at this point are going to be like, oh my God, this is $100, $200, $300, $400, and just rising comic, because it was the first one ever printed it's going to be a HBO Max original. You know what I mean? Like that's how the comic book. Well,
I know Rob was saying earlier that if this thing ends up becoming a miniseries or a movie, he really wants to try out for the part of Karen. So.
Well, I don't have the long hair anymore, so might be a little bit more difficult now.
We can put a wig on you, Rob.
I'm about to say there's wigs. There's wigs. We can. I can't guarantee you the part, but you are definitely allowed to read for it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you would.
That makes me feel better, at least. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, and I'm not trying to bounce all over here, but is there a reason you picked the name Karen? Because Karen has just such a negative comp.
Yep.
Okay, because right now
that's exactly why.
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, when you think of Karen right now, she's like that annoying, let me talk to your manager type.
Well, I just happen to know like 5 Karens who are the nicest, most loving, absolute opposite of what we consider a Karen in the world. So I needed a name, so I was like, you know what? This is for all of the good Karens. So I would hope that, like, down the road they'll be like, she's a Karen. Oh, is it like a Karen or a Here Walks Monsters Karen?
Okay. So you're like flipping the script right now on all of the negative stereotypes.
Someone's got to do it.
That was my exact reason.
We're getting the little guys out there. We're getting the Karens out there. Pretty soon,
like we talked about on the first episode, the main reason why I started writing it was because I looked at entertainment as a whole, movies, TV, pretty much all properties, and most of the time, if there's a short character, they're the butt of the joke or the sad story, someone that needs help, and then you got if you have an attractive woman in a horror movie, almost guarantee she's gonna die just because that's what she is.
If not first, she's definitely second.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't. There's, especially in horror and a lot of other things that I love, there isn't enough representation for the normal people that aren't the Hollywood, like, not everyone's 6'5" and gorgeous and everything like that. It's just not how the real world is. Like, and that's why I'm going to be very inclusive in this book, and it's not for the sake of being woke or anything like that. But that's how the real world is, and this is not our world, but it's a world very much like ours. So if it exists in our world, body type, shape, size wise, it'll probably show up at some point in my book.
Well, I will be honest, though, and I know that that's not necessarily like a regular short man, and I'm not by any means knocking him, but I will say when I was a child, Warwick Davis was like one of my heroes. I mean, he was in Willow, dude.
Yep.
Kicked ass. I mean, Leprechaun, Rob knows. I talk about it all the time.
Leprechaun is one of Jake's favorite things. I was going to say franchise, but it's beyond that.
Yeah.
Leprechaun adores Leprechaun.
I got so much Leprechaun stuff. I've got autographed Warwick Davis stuff. I mean, I'm like, the guy was like a hero of mine growing up. So I can't say that I've been like, I never felt like he was the butt of a joke. But I'm also not talking about normal everyday, just being.
No, but and there are exceptions to everything. He's one of them. You look at like Wolverine in Marvel Comics. He was never the butt of the joke, and if he was, that person paid for it. Like
you don't mess with
Wolverine was supposed to be 5'4",
but 5'3".
Like 5'3". Oh my bad.
Believe me.
Very
I know.
small.
He's an inch taller than me.
Is Hugh Jackman short? I don't even know. Is
No.
Hugh Jackman a short man? No.
Not at all.
He's a giant.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
is he?
six.
Okay.
Well, not. I guess 6'4" isn't
Is
really
he a giant to me,
but
Kyle?
he's a full foot too tall to be Wolverine. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I
I
love
was
him.
just
He
wondering
did
if
great. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
He
No,
does a great job for the cinematics. And they even poked at it with the last movie, Deadpool and Wolverine.
I was that. So
Oh
that
God, here we
part.
go. Here we go.
That
It's-
part really bothered me. And there's very few things I had wrong with this movie, and I would still watch it. I'm not like saying boycott it. The second it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm buying it again. I saw it in theaters, I loved it. But that one scene, all right. So there's two reasons why I have a big issue with it. Is because, like I just said, not often was Wolverine the butt of the joke, but if he was, that person paid for it. Why was the short guy, the short Wolverine, the only one that didn't get to attack him? The only one that didn't really get to make fun of him in any way? Also had the most ridiculous low-cut V-neck in the history of time. Okay? And then now you spend like about 30 seconds making fun of the short Wolverine and just piecing out. Fine. But you then didn't give me any of the Hulk versus Wolverine fight. Combining those two things, now I'm pissed. Because fine, if you want to just make a jokes, I get it. It's a short Wolverine. I'm short. The jokes come. I understand. But you could have made a short joke by having him cut him off at the kneecaps. You could have had him make a joke.
I would have loved to see that.
You know what I mean? You could have you could have had maybe 15-second less joking to the short Wolverine and give me 15 seconds of a Hulk versus Wolverine fight. And then my mouth is shut. I don't give a crap about the short jokes anymore because you paid it off with that. That was my problem. It wasn't that they made the joke. It was that they spent too long on it and didn't give me.
They could have done it too. Look at what they did with Lord of the Rings, and that was forever ago. You know, full-size regular actors were shrunk down to hobbits, and they interacted with all the other actors. Like they could have definitely done that. So yeah, I feel you. I would have liked to see a little bit more with that too.
And then see that it's if they would have given, like I said, they would have given us a little bit extra of the Hulk, I wouldn't even have mentioned the fact that I didn't like the short jokes because it has to happen. Like I'm not oblivious to how reality works. You see a short Wolverine, you're gonna make a short joke. That's just gonna happen. But to make like 20 in 30 seconds and not give me a Hulk fight, now you've crossed the line. And now the line has been crossed.
It was the lack of the fighting that crossed the line.
Yeah,
that was the straw.
See, no, that's better. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like, all right, I'm holding up the short joke. You didn't give me
Speaking about short characters in comic books, I'm still holding out for maybe an Alpha Flight movie. That's one of my original comic series that I inherited from my uncle that actually started my love of comics. And if I can see Puck and Sasquatch doing their thing, like I will be the happiest man on the face of the planet. And
so you know, they actually had a rumor at one point that they were in talks to potentially do it because what they were trying to do, and I don't know if this fell through because of COVID, but they were trying to do like a whole like Avengers Canada campus.
Ooh,
and then
that is that right there.
By doing so,
you can't have Canadian superheroes without Alpha Flight.
And then introduce them at the park, and then have like a standalone Disney Plus series or something to have them in the MCU. That was the rumor. I haven't heard anything about that in years. So
yeah,
I'm guessing COVID kind of was like, yeah, I guess not.
Well, I'll still keep my fingers crossed.
With the with favorites as well.
With the massive success of Deadpool, Wolverine, both of them are Canadians. Maybe I'm keeping my hopes up for that.
Hey, with Ryan Reynolds now in the Marvel offices, anything's possible.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I know you guys are geeking out here, but I do want to get back to this comic book.
Yes, let's
So,
get back to your work.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
okay.
go ahead and
Hi.
let's go ahead and redirect this, and hopefully we'll meet many more times, and we can
Oh,
discuss
we
all
got
the
off
things.
topic because the artist is Canadian, so we were just
Yeah.
trying to give a little morale boost.
We took a very long walk for a very delicious yet short drink.
There it is again, the short drink. Um, we had taken a look at the comic. I had Rob take a look at the comic,
Yeah.
and Rob, did you have any? What was your kind of opinion on this? Where are you at as far as your viewing of this?
So, first off, the artwork. It's absolutely fantastic. I got blown away. Now what you said earlier about like the first 10 pages being completely different than the last 10, those last 10 pages just blew my mind completely.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right
It's
now.
some of
They're
the best work. It doesn't feel like it's an issue 1. Like this feels and it's is it both of you and your artist's first foray into comics?
Yep.
For both
First
you
time
guys?
we've
This is
ever worked on any comic ever. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it. It is yeah, it seems like you have a lot more behind it. And for this being the starter, like the number 1, I'm hooked. I love it. I think it's great. I am very eager and interested to see what y'all are gonna do. Um, and yeah, that like I the Sin City effect of the
Mhm.
black, the white, the red, it just makes everything pop so much. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's
And that's the reason why I picked him, like, because he was the only artist that I reached out to. Granted, it's because he said yes. I mean, if he said no, I probably would have kept going, obviously. But he said yes, so I got to end my
he
search
said
there.
yes.
So, because he on his Instagram, how I got to know him at all was I started seeing him in a lot of the comic shows I was watching live on Instagram, and I looked at his artwork, and he worked predominantly in black and white, and his
Yeah.
shading and just the like. If you look at his Instagram, his Silver Surfer that he did with the reflective skin is some of the
Ooh,
greatest artwork I've ever seen in my life, and
I'll
that's
have to
what I
check that
see
out.
that, and I'm like, how has this person never even been approached? Now he has. He's had a couple people that have reached out. You know, from what I've heard, has not accepted any work because he's kind of asked for too much on purpose. Like, hey, if you want to pay me
Hmm,
this much, I'll do it, but I'm focused on this. So I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't ask him to do that. So that shows how much he believes in the project. You know what I mean? Like, and that's his decision, 100%. And I want him, like we joke all the time. Like he made a joke. He was like, "You're gonna get famous and you're gonna get a fancy big time artist." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like,
I already
you're
have a
the
fancy
only
big time
person.
artist.
Like, you're the only person I want to do this. Like, the way we work together, it's. I say it all the time on pretty much every interview. I am the luckiest creator on the planet because there's no ego, there's no like issues. He wants to try something, let's do it because I know I don't know everything. I know I'm not an artist. If the artist wants to say, "Let's try this," please do.
Do it.
Like
Yeah.
have at it, sir. Like I said, there's been very few times where it's because it wasn't, and not because it was bad, it just didn't fit that scene. Like when I because I write this very cinematically. Like I look at it as like a movie or a TV episode, but it's in still form. That's how I kind of write, and that's how he kind of draws. He kind of molds everything together so it flows. Like I was reading it the other day, and I breezed through it in like 5 minutes, and I'm like, I mean, that was because, and I was taking my time looking at every little thing. I'm like, that didn't seem. Did I not make this long enough? Like this seems like that went too fast, and then no, it's just a product of how good it flows. There's no wasted time figuring out where you're supposed to look, what the next panel is. It's just it works almost like you're watching a reel,
Yeah, it's
and it's
definitely
just it's beautiful.
cohesion is cohesion is a word that I would use. I'm looking at it right now. very cohesive. I mean, everything flows really well.
Mhm.
I agree with Rob. I love the black, white, and red. I've always been a fan of black, white, and red together.
Oh yeah.
I just think the red pops in that scenario, and I've always loved black and white. It does have a
Well,
little bit of that Sin City feel. Super. Some of the detail is incredible as far as the
Yeah.
artwork goes. I
When
mean, I'm
when
looking at it
when when
right
he does
now.
the close-ups, it's there's I would put like if Martin was to do one cover or one panel of a close-up of any scene in the book or any book, whatever, I would put that work up against any artist, big time, small time, I don't care who it is, because when he gets into that, like especially when it's like right on the like a face, like one of the I think it's the page like 17, I think it is, right towards the end, a guy yells, "You think this is a game?"
so I'm looking at that picture right now,
Yeah, me
and
too.
I was
Actually, I'm
literally
right on
about
it.
to say that
Yeah.
specific one, and maybe like the page before, right? Because of why he says that, it's all just so
Like
well drawn.
I had I will literally put. Go ahead. I I guess I've thrown the gauntlet down. I guess Martin. Sorry, but
All of us thought of the exact same thing.
that because
Oh,
he's just next level. Like he's so talented. I'm so lucky to have
he really
him
is.
on this title.
So for
Yeah,
anybody that's
and
listening right now, how do they get some of your work? Is it purely just through the Kickstarter at this point?
At this point, yes, that's the only way to get your hands on a copy. As we spoke about earlier, the Kickstarter runs through Halloween at midnight. So from now until midnight, the only way to get your reserve a copy really is to get
Yeah.
it through the Kickstarter. Then once we get fully funded and everything goes through, I've already spoke with the print shop. They're literally just sitting ready, waiting to go. So once the way Kickstarter works is. At the end of the campaign, if it's fully funded, it charges everybody, and then they send that money to me in about a week and a half. So once I get that money, I'm hit print shop.
then
Here's your
everything
money.
goes. Yep.
Send it to print, and we'll go from there. I'm working with a distribution company. They're up and coming, small, called Maverick Distributions. They're going to be handling most of the initial Kickstarters that are not signed, because he's gonna the number that need to be sent out to the people. He's going to facilitate those and then send me the rest, basically, and then I will handle everything after that. Because if we get fully funded, unless something changes drastically, I mean that's a legitimate possibility. There's going to be plenty left over, especially like cover B, for instance, because I think no one's backed cover B by itself, but there's been a few people who have got the like the 4 cover set that has all the covers. So there are people that are interested in it, but no one's actually just bought that by itself. So I should have a whole bunch of those. And then there's another cover, the cover C, which is basically the same as cover A, but it's a silver spot foil that's only available in the full cover set. So I'll have some of those available extra because those aren't going to sell out off of the initial Kickstarter. And I should have some of the regular A covers as well. So I will be
I'm
able
gonna
to then sell them to anyone through my social medias or when I'm at whether I'm on Whatnot or one of the conventions to be able to sell them to there as well.
So I'm going to include, if you'd be so kind to send them to me after the show, I'm going to post, when I post this, I'm going to include any links that you have. But as of right now, just kind of talking about it, where can people find you? What is the best way to try to get involved with this project?
So the best way to get involved in the project is to either go to my page or go on to Kickstarter by itself and just type in "Here Walks Monsters." It will show up, and it'll be the only one that technically the ash can will also show up, but that's already fully funded and complete. So it'll show up, but you can't back that at this time.
Yeah.
And then you can just back it through there. Um, Also, I have Instagram and TikTok, so it's just Here Walks Monsters on TikTok and Here Walks Monsters Comics on Instagram. I pretty much answer every comment and every DM, and I will continue to do so until I am too big to do so, and I have to hire somebody to do it for me.
Hopefully that'll be sooner than later. But so that's cool. When we get done, I'm gonna go ahead and click those links so I can include them on the page. So anybody that wants to get involved with this can. I also wanted to just ask you, and kind of really quick, we discussed this a little bit the first time that we all got together here, but what is developed as far as what's coming up in the future? Obviously, you
Okay.
don't want to give everything away, but we're just kind of curious what's next because we looked at this comic. This is great. Can't wait to see what happens next. Can't wait to see a continuation. Do you have any kind of ideas about sort of where you are thinking about this going in for the time being?
Oh yeah, I have the next 5 issues already planned out, like in my head.
Okay.
Um, the issue 2 is already under construction. The artist
Awesome.
is already working on all the character designs because I'm introducing, I think, 4 or 5 characters in issue 2 that weren't in issue 1 at all. So he's working on getting all those complete. Um, I'm taking a big risk with issue 2 because I'm going to take us all the way out of the story and drop us back before the fall, and introduce these characters that will be a big part of the story moving forward that have to be introduced for the story
Okay.
to continue. So, and I've spoke about this before. It's not, I'm not spoiling anything too much, but basically it's going to be told from a different perspective, different characters who will be a part of the main storyline as well, but it's just at different points. It's going to cover characters at the before, during, and after the
Okay.
fall. Um,
Okay.
and
Are you planning? Are you
it's really
planning on
awesome.
adding on to the group, like the kind of a group dynamic in the future, sort of Walking Deadish as far as I'm not trying to compare the two. I know it's a totally different project, but kind of having a core group, sort of like they did, adding characters to that, or just sort of covering
So
different stories and coming back and forth, or
the main two are kind of their own thing. But what they're going to do through this entire journey is cross paths with a lot of people, like a lot of different
uh,
groups, a lot of different
okay,
characters that could potentially show back up, depending on how the story unfolds. Because I know the beginning, middle, and end. How I get to those spots, I'm gonna let the story really guide me. Really, the
okay,
how I get to those specific plot points that I know I have to hit. So there are, hopefully, and again, this is all just me being naive and saying and hoping for the best. There should be spin-offs or one shots regarding other very important characters that are not maybe in the main story very long, but they are important nonetheless. So it really just how I introduce all these other characters and these other people. For the most part, there may be, they may add a third or a fourth temporarily. They may team up to do something to
yeah,
achieve a common goal, but their goal is to get a place that they have to get to.
okay,
And if they're for a time being, they can be assisted in that. Sure, they might have a couple more people around, but there won't be. This is a more like the road where it's a journey.
yeah.
Like
It's a
it's
continuous,
not
yeah,
like Walking Dead where they're trying to just survive, find a place, hunker down and survive. No, no, they're trying to get to their place, and
okay.
that they're gonna that
Nice.
their only goal now is to get to that place.
So I saw the flashback panel where they're kind of talking about the news, and there's the
Mhm.
news article. So is this like what I'm kind of going with here, and maybe this is very obvious, and I'm just kind of discussing this because that's sort of what I see. So what's kind of really happening in this comic book is we're going back to the pandemic, and this is the other way it went. Am I correct in assuming kind of that's
Sort
what's
of.
Like an
It
offshoot of reality.
yeah, like we go
so
back to a
Uh,
fork in the road, and this is one of the other directions that it could have gone.
it in a way, it's very inspired like that. But it is a different world, and that is something I want to make clear that it is not our world. So it's not like a different timeline or something like that. It is its own thing in the multi-dimension. That's what I'm calling it. It's not a multi-universe; it's a multi-dimension. So I actually had someone who reviewed the comic book recently, and he said, he's gonna put in terms like Marvel. If this is Earth, if our world is 616, Here Walks Monsters happens in 6161.
Okay.
So it's a lot like our world, but it's not. And in that panel, the I made it a very important to have the president look like Obama, because when
I see
our
that.
pandemic happened, he was not president. So it's
Okay.
a subtle little detail showing that it is different.
but just enough.
Right.
Yeah, I
It's
see it. You got
close,
the ears.
but it's
Yeah, okay.
just enough different.
Right. So like there will be similarities, there'll be similar properties that could show up. Like for instance, like I'm planning on having like a YouTube, but it's not gonna be YouTube, it's gonna be Bluetooth.
Okay.
So like it's gonna be what we see as YouTube, but instead of it being a blue plus, it's like a blue pause. Or you know what I mean? It's just something to significant be look like, okay, yes, this is basically YouTube, but it's not. Part of the
Yeah.
reason is so I don't get sued.
Yeah, well, also on
That's
top of
a
that,
really good way to do it. I like it.
yeah, well, and on top of that, I mean, it kind of does show that, like, you know, realistically, it being a world like ours but different, it does show that, you know, a lot of the same ideas would come to play. They would just not be the same exact thing. You know, I mean,
Right.
yeah, exactly. You know, so what are you thinking over there, Rob?
No, I like it. The fact that it is just enough different. I think it's a great way to not have to worry about, as you said, getting sued. But it allows you, enough artistic creativity to have fun, and I
Yeah.
see a lot of fun in this.
So and I,
Reading through.
to your point, I said this before, so this is not a spoiler. Part of issue 2 is going to happen at a convention. There's going to be a zombie outbreak, and in my time going to conventions, I've met certain people that I kind of saw like, how are you not making more money, kind of thing. So like this guy I met, he goes by Mando Commando Armor. He makes real steel Mandalorian inspired and other fictitious stuff inspired armor that sells for the same price as the crappy cosplay ones that are at the conventions.
Mm.
And I walk by because I remember in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna find someone today
But
on
why?
purpose because because a lot of people, they just want to be cool and be in cosplay. They don't need real steel armor. So why are they going to get real steel armor? It's heavy. It's actually not heavy. I actually wore some of it. I was like, wow, this is actually light.
Depends on the gauge of the steel. Yeah.
12 gauge.
Oh, gauge. I could
Yeah,
still
sorry.
I could
Well.
probably still put a sword into that.
So he and I it was when I was at MegaCon. I was walking around and I was like, I'm gonna find someone today that I'm gonna need to be in this book. So I talked to him, and he's gonna be a character like him is gonna be in issue 2 at the convention. So when zombies are coming, he's actually putting on real steel armor and getting real steel weapons, and he's surviving. So, and he's actually not using his real name in the book, so he's gonna be Donnie in reference to the Bear Jew from Inglorious Bastards. So
Awesome.
that character's gonna be named Donnie, and him and another character are gonna basically get framed by the government, police, and all these people trying to cover up the zombie outbreak, as it was a cosplay event gone wrong, and these two guys just went crazy and started killing people, and then they go on the run, and about a month later, the whole fall of society happens.
It's funny because when you said your inspiration for Donnie, I instantly went to Big Lebowski, and I was like, but
Well,
I like the direction you headed in better.
He's a really huge fan of Inglourious Basterds. He's also Jewish ex-military sniper. So like he's getting written in as basically a version of himself, who his military training kicked in and he got the hell out of Dodge. With the other guy who's going to be in it, he makes custom Lucille bats, but like real like Louisville Sluggers, and puts like real barbed wire and real whatever they're asking for in it, like real nails and shit. Like it's not like these cosplay stuff. And again, he will go and not be selling out when the cosplay ones are. and they're like I think his bats are like 150 or something like that. And like I've seen like the replica Negan bats go for 100. Like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get you're just trying to cosplay, but like, why not spend $50 get a real Louisville Slugger? I mean, I don't understand. Like, so he's
Have
gonna be
I
something
need a
for home
signature.
protection.
Because I need Scott Baio's autograph, obviously. I mean, I can't afford the other bat because how else am I going to get Scott Baio's autograph? Come on.
But yeah, so like again, he makes real thing. Like he actually creates something, and so both of them will be an issue too, and it'll give it more realism because it'll be people who are actually real with their real products in a different world in a convention. So like I wanted to try to make it as real as possible. And how do you get realer than real people? And get them in the book. They're super
Real
excited
people doing real
as
shit.
well. So yeah, it's and I keep forgetting because I see these people and I'm like, oh, this would be cool. They're my friends. Let's get them in the comic book, and I could use them because of this, that, and the other thing. And then they're just like, dude, you're giving me a lifelong dream. I've always wanted to be in a comic book, and I forget that sometimes. Like I do. Like I will admit that like I don't know what it is about being the writer. I guess because I'm controlling everything that I forget how it's not something that people think they'll get to do in their lives, I guess.
Hey,
Oh,
And
man,
then
a lot of people read comics. A lot of people don't get that chance to be in there. Like, as I grew up reading comics, I would love to be in a comic. I think anyone who read comics, or does read comics would want that as well. Now I got a question for you. Are you
Yeah.
going to give like this specific guy who does like the Real Steelworks? Are you going to give him a nod in the comic and link some of his contact info in that issue?
yeah, so
Just yeah.
the reason, so it's gonna look like his real booth. So he would have like a banner. And what would be on the banner?
Awesome.
A QR code.
Awesome.
That is
Oh, the
the
QR
best. I
code.
love it.
That's awesome, man. That's a great idea.
So
Right
because
in the book.
I'm gonna make sure like there is, if you look in issue 1, when the bald guy goes into the van and says there doesn't seem to be anything in here but this tablet with comic books, with a whole bunch of comic books loaded on it. That there's a logo on there. That's actually a real comic shop that paid to get their logo in the comic book. So
Nice.
I did a product placement right there in that issue, and similar things. But I'm going to do that with their stuff as well. Yes.
I see it. Yep.
I
Right
love it.
there.
I
The
love it.
comic heat.
Yep.
I see it right there. That's awesome. Yeah, I've been looking at it while we've been talking. Just kind of looking at some of the artwork and stuff. That's pretty awesome. Well, we definitely want to. Psycho Opinion definitely wants to stay a friend of Here Walks Monsters.
Oh yeah.
So we get our logo in there. I've already decided that if for whatever reason, you decided to throw me in there, because I know you've had an idea about podcasters, I am going to blow that sucker up, and it is going to be a poster behind me probably, because I think it'd be a huge honor for anybody, especially in such great works, man. I mean, I think what you're doing is fantastic, and I mean, I think anybody would be honored to be a part of that. I mean, I talk about you all the time to people I know, man, and talking about your success and what you're doing and how it's so cool. I'm super proud to call you my friend. And I think what you're doing is phenomenal. You definitely have support here, and Psych Opinion definitely has your back. We enjoy having you on here. We enjoy your comic. I mean, it's
we love your work.
Definitely a friend.
We're
Yeah.
interested in seeing everything you do.
We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
I've come a long way.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
and it's not very easy for me to accept compliments and things of that nature. But I kind of use my friends as a kind of litmus test to see where I am. So for you to say that, because I never believe I'm a success, no matter how successful I could possibly be. I'll never believe it. So if you guys believe it, then that means the absolute world to me, because people like you wouldn't lie. If it was a piece of crap, I wouldn't be on talking to you right now.
Dude, if
You'd be
we
like,
were
hey,
on here,
really nice. Thanks for showing me your comic book. We go a long way back, but Yeah, no, we're not going to bring it on.
We go way
So-
back, and I support you as a friend, but this book's a piece of shit. That's
That-
pretty much where
That's what I
I'd
would
be.
expect if that was
Yeah.
actually the case. So
Trust
for
me.
like, when I hear otherwise coming, especially because I know Jake for.
Yeah,
I've heard him tell people who they really are to their face with a
Yeah.
smile.
I
So
don't have a problem with it.
like
Doesn't
enjoying it
bother me.
every second of it.
Yeah.
So I know
Sounds
that
like
if
Jake.
he's giving me compliments, then I know I'm doing something right.
Yeah, Rob knows also being on the show now, and Rob and I being personal friends for a long time, that I definitely don't have any problems with calling out a piece of shit if I think something's a piece of shit. So
You love to tell it how it
doesn't-
is, man.
yeah, it doesn't bother me one bit to say how I feel. And honestly, I do talk you up to other friends of mine. I'm definitely going to be showing people these comics. I'm very, very proud of you, man. I think you're doing fantastic, and I just want you to always keep in mind that Psycho Opinion is a friend. So, anything that we might be able to do, or anything that you might be able to throw us in there, whatever. I mean, I'd be honored.
So even though I actually technically did an interview this week, it's still being edited and not put up yet. So this is more than likely going to be the very first actual podcast appearance since the Kickstarter went live. Because
Yeah.
I hadn't had I had planned on only starting it in like about 2 weeks ago, but I hit the wrong button and it went live immediately. So once it was approved, so which happened in like 3 seconds. Like last time, it took a while for them to approve it. I hit approve and I literally turned my chair. I think I changed it or hit play on my TV and got an bing. Your it's live. What do you mean it's live? No. Oh, okay.
Already?
Here we go.
It's time to do this thing, whether you like it or not. Whether you're
let's
ready or
make-
not, it's time to go.
Ready or not, here I come.
There you go, man. So,
Well,
yeah,
to our
definitely.
viewers, if you guys enjoyed those covers, the only way to get them right now, jump in and
Oh,
help out that Kickstarter.
The Ashcan ones though that you have are now 100% gone as well. By the way, that black,
Yeah, but
the black cover,
I
that
can
one's
only
gone.
assume. I can only assume that everything is going to be just as cool or cooler as we go. So, I mean,
True,
honestly,
but that one is only limited to 40.
yeah, I
So
saw
that's
that.
the small. That's as besides
Ooh.
the chrome hollow foil, the spot foils of the SuperCon exclusive. That's the lowest print so far. So that's
I'm-
gonna be that might be the one people look for and be like pay high premium for one day.
And I got the autographs here. I mean, I'm wishing you all the best of luck because these comics might put my kids through college one day. So,
I would hope and the people were like my mom, for instance, like I gave her a copy. I was like, I hope one day that you can sell this and retire. And she's like, oh, I would never sell. I was like, excuse you.
dude,
If it actually becomes worth something, sell the thing and retire. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
I mean,
like, I'll make you
I'm not
another one.
expecting-
Damn it!
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any intention of you and I having a falling out. So if I can get something for it, I will, and then see if I can go back to the artist or the creator for more. So I'll show up on your doorstep and be like, hey man, I got a bunch of things for you to sign for me here. What do you got over there? Oh, what is that? You got an original? Let me see. You got some sketches over there. I'll be.
So I'm
Yeah.
for in future, I do plan to have some like actual original sketch work, because Martin, the artist, he does everything on his tablet just to make it faster. He doesn't use any AI or anything of that stuff. He's still drawing every little single tiny line, but he can draw on to make an actual art piece. I told him, I was like, just so you know, I'm gonna be asking you to do one of those one of these days. He's like, I know. They're just so big and they take up so much space. And I'm like, I understand. Just know one of these days I'm gonna want, because the way that's something that someone will, whoever's a fan would want that so bad to display in their house.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Like I said, if the Psycho Opinion logo or I end up in one of your comics, I'm blowing it up to poster size. I'm gonna ship it to you and your artist. You guys are gonna sign that for me, and then it's going on display in the studio.
I can guarantee Psych Opinion will be an issue 2. The logo will be an issue 2 guaranteed. I can guarantee that.
We're gonna be looking forward to that because
right.
we're definitely trying to grow our. If you need anything from me, I mean, I can definitely provide a some kind of what's that called there that all the kids are doing these days? The promo code that you just said.
QR code.
Yeah. I'm an
QRs.
old guy, so I can make that happen.
So yeah, I mean
Um,
that is in your case. So the way Kickstarter works, also just in case anyone is new to that, once the Kickstarter campaign wraps up, I then reach out through Kickstarter and say, hey, answer these questions. In the case yours, because you did the name or logo, it'll be like include name, whether you want a name or a logo. If logo, include the logo
Yeah.
and any information that is needed for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will be discussed. You're definitely gonna get in there because, like I said, the second issue is gonna be off the beating path from the main storyline. So it's gonna tell a little bit different a story through kind of like how we would like if something like that happened in our world, where would everyone see it? They'd see it on their phones, on their TVs, streaming it, or whatever. So I'm gonna tell that story through the comic book pages.
Well, I know we'll be damn proud, and I'm sure Rob will want a copy of that too, so that he can show everybody,
Oh,
because that's
most
going to be
definitely.
a hell of a thing
Yeah.
for us. I mean, we're still a baby too, so we're still starting out. So I mean, that'd be fantastic. That's definitely so
Look, Ma,
so
I'm in a
so much
comic book.
Yeah,
Look, Mama made it.
it's just like opinions. Yeah, man. So I was happy to donate and help out. I honestly wish I could do more. Hopefully in the future, whatever you have, I can do something, because I definitely do want to support you, and I hope that you feel that way. Because like I said, man, damn proud of you. I'm going to include all the links in this so everybody else can reach out if they want to or donate. So let's hope we can get everything up there and make sure that you're as successful as you need to be. When we're done, just go ahead and send me all those links and everything, and I'll include those.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
telling you guys,
so close to having it fully funded already, with still time to spare. Like last I checked, I think it's literally like $200 away from being funded.
Oh,
So
Jake's already put some in the
that's
Kickstarter. I haven't yet, but I guarantee you I'm going to
yeah,
probably right after this.
listen. I want
Loved
it
what I've looked
clear
at.
that I don't do or say these things. Like I had a couple of friends be like, "Oh, I'll back it right now." I'm like, I'm not saying that because I need you to back it. I'm just telling you. You asked what have I been up to?
It's
Well, this is what I'm up to.
yeah. Well, it's not
it's
about that,
amazing
man.
quality, and it's something
Yeah.
I want to see go further. So I have no qualms with throwing at
Yes.
least a little bit what I can.
And that's why Kickstarter is so beautiful, because it
Yeah.
allows the fans to all contribute together to make what they want a reality.
Yeah.
So it's and none of it's lost on me. Like I know that because when I did my first Kickstarter, everyone was like, "You're insane. You have no one backing you. You don't have you're not paying a marketing team. You're not going to get it funded."
Well, that's
But I
why
did.
you joined Kickstarter.
Well, I've been trying harder to keep my show clean, but you know what I say to those people? Fuck them. I mean, honestly, man. I mean,
no,
that's the thing is there's so many people in this world that are haters and doubters, man. And I mean, there's just no time for those people at all. I mean, like I said, I'm trying to
Yep.
keep it clean on here, but fuck them. I mean,
No,
there's just no time.
it was when I realized that, because like through this whole process, I've really found out who are my friends and people I know on the internet.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Because there's a
Sure.
lot of people who I would have thought, like I've seen them at conventions and we've hung out and we speak all the time on social media. I'm not even asking for them to donate or anything. Like they have YouTube channels and TikTok and all this stuff that they tell
Give me a
people what
plug.
to look for. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, I don't even, and there's been times where I'm like, I'll pay you. Just, I know you have a 10,000 people who will
Yeah.
listen to what you say. What will it take? Left on red.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, there's some people who I'm starting to really find out who's
Well,
there.
I think first of all,
Simple to see.
some people think they're too big, or too big for their britches, if you will, if that's still a thing. I think there's some people that just think they're better than they are. They don't remember where they came from. And I mean, really, it's like when you talk about supporting people or shopping local, I mean, we're not talking about just literally in your neighborhood. It's people that are coming up, people that are trying to make something of themselves. And that's an issue that I have with a lot. It's like there's so many people out there that just don't want to see you succeed for whatever reason, whether it be just like hate in their heart or they're mad at themselves that they haven't done anything. I don't know what it is, but there's just so many people that just, it's like they want to see you fail for no reason, and sometimes it's even friends of yours. Sometimes it's even somebody sitting right next to you, and when you catch a little smirk on their face when something bad happens to you, and it's like, what are you happy? I mean, are you happy that this bad thing happened? And I mean, I've never had time for that. I've never been a hater. I've always we should support one another. And even through my show, I've talked to some people who have shows, and I'm like, hey, let's do some work together. Let's do some crossovers. But because my viewer base is new, because we're still starting out, some of them don't seem to want to or take the time to really talk to me about those things or to communicate. And it's like, I mean, come on, man. Damn well you started the same way I am. Damn well that you were a couple of friends on a mic, or you did your thing up by yourself. And it's like, I don't know why people feel that way. That's just not my mentality. Never has been.
Well, and that's their cross to bear. It's taken me a long time to get to this point where I finally realized I can't control what other people say. I either can or cannot do. What I can control is how much effort I put into it to do what I think I can do.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, that's a legitimate possibility with anything you attempt. If you're not scared or not nervous about doing something, you're not doing it. I'm to tell you what, I've been a wreck for these last couple weeks because this is my life's work now. I mean, I never when I was younger thought I'm going to be a comic writer, but like now my whole life, reading all these comics, watching all these movies, all that stuff, it's kind of culminated in this project. So like this is basically as of right now at least my life's work. So seeing it get funded little by little by little by little, it's it's thrilling. It's great and awesome. But it's also very stressful and nerve wracking, and the constant will it or won't it. I mean, even because I won't count any chickens before they hatch. I refuse to ever say it's going to be funded because we're close. No. Things can happen. People can back out. There's a lot of things that can go down between now and the 31st. But all I can do is keep telling people about it and hoping that the right people see it and the right people want to help get it into the real world, or how about this, get it to our dimension versus the dimension it exists in.
Nice.
And right.
I like it.
and hopefully, this is just the start of something real big. And I truly hope that anyone who has or will back this first one, buckle up, because
Man, I hope
this is going to be a damn fun ride.
I hope nothing but the absolute best for you in the future of this project, man. I really do. I sincerely mean that. I hope that you have all the success that you deserve in life. I think you're doing fantastic. I think that you're a testament to, and no pun intended, but the little guy trying to get out there and do something, somebody that doesn't have the backing, somebody that's not already, wealthy or has somebody backing them like that. I mean, dude, you're an inspiration at this point, honestly, for what you're doing out there. And I think that you should continue to do what you're doing. And like I said, you definitely have support and friends here. Damn proud of you, honestly.
Both of us are super excited to see where your story is going to take us. So, we're going to be with you for the whole ride.
Well, it's going to be a long one. So get your snacks, get you whatever
Thanks.
whatever apocalypse food and drink you need, because it's going to be a long bumpy ride.
At that point, it doesn't necessarily need to be too healthy now, does it?
Oh no. Not at all.
We're all going.
Because everyone's basically a monster already.
Yeah, we're already monsters. Who's really the monsters? We're not gonna get that deep today. But anyway, no, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I'm gonna include your links here, and I definitely want to tell you that probably maybe another 2 months, 3 months, whatever, however long it's probably been, we're gonna go ahead and I think that we should really keep in touch here. I want to keep kind of discussing this journey. So maybe in another couple months we can get together and kind of see what's going on again, if that's okay with you. I know Rob's definitely down.
Anytime you have any big announcements or just want to talk about your projects, I'd love to talk about it. Anything you got, just bring it to us.
More than likely, and in a couple months, I will be gearing up for issue 2,
Awesome.
because the gap between Ashcan and issue 1 was way too long. because it took about a year from Ash came, almost to the day actually, which is kind of creepy.
Wow.
To the day almost that Ash came for issue 1, but the gap between issue 1 and issue 2, my goal is to, at least until it gets to a point where like money's coming in where I don't have to necessarily work and I can just write full time. Trying to do at least 4 a year. And if we can bang out more, then great. But my goal is to have 4 issues per year starting next year. So issue 1 will come out the end of this year, and then we'll hopefully have 2, 3, and 4 next year.
Just keep me in mind, man. I'm gonna be working on some wall space, like I told you. So just keep me in mind, man. I'm gonna keep ordering the comic book frames, and you just keep me in the loop here. And
that
I'll be happy to have all of my autographed Here Walks Monsters first editions and other various covers, and that'll be one of my prized possessions, I'm sure. So
that means a lot. But I again don't ever hesitate to sell said prized possession because you worry about my feelings. If it can get you, if it can help you out, by all means. And I hope anyone who's hearing this, because I've had people like, oh, I couldn't sell it. Shit, I can.
Well, honestly, man, I'm really hoping I'm really hoping we cross paths. I've been talking to my guys. I've been talking to Rob and the rest of the team about this, but I'm really hoping next year we get to travel more and kind of do some horror cons and maybe some festivals. So maybe our paths will even cross at some point. We can go get some food, talk about old times, and
I'm definitely trying to do the same thing. I've only done conventions in Florida. I'm definitely trying to expand. I almost made it into NYCC with the 305 Comic Girls. We were like the next on the list to get in, and we just didn't get in. So hopefully, like the goal is to get an email from San Diego Comic-Con and NYCC and all these big conventions all over the country to be like, hey, we heard you
biggest of the
wrote this.
big right there.
Yeah. Well, next time you're in North Carolina, man, for sure, drop us a line.
Yeah, no, there's a lot
we'll try to
of
make
big
it out to
conventions
wherever
in
you're
North
at.
Carolina. So I definitely, hopefully, like I said, I'm nothing would please me more than to be able to do a freaking convention tour. That would be the greatest thing. Like what? Yeah, sign me up whenever I can.
Yeah, we'll definitely try to meet you wherever you're at in North Carolina, at least, and hopefully we'll be able to cross paths. This coming year, we're hoping to have some big things happen for Psycho Opinion. So, what's that?
I think HeroCon, I think, is in Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken.
Charlotte and Raleigh are probably the two biggest, and we're not far away from Raleigh.
They do have stuff in Greenville and everything like that too. Like so,
Greenville Convention
kind of
Center.
Small
there's
scale,
occasionally. Yeah, but I mean, come on.
Anywhere they can find a convention center, that's pretty much where they go.
I was gonna say, we don't want to turn into the people that we're knocking here. We're not too big to be local.
Oh no, listen, I have a horror convention I'm working in 2 weeks in a hotel ballroom. I'm not too big for nothing. Like both literally and everything else wise as well. Like,
and
listen,
philosophically.
There we go. That was philosophically and literally. I'm just a little guy.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate you being on again, man. And we're going to have you on again real soon. And you're going to give me those links, and I'm going to include them in our comments. And I'm going to tell everybody that I know about it. And Rob is going to check out that Kickstarter. And we're going to do what you can for you, man. And just, keep us in mind. We're always here. We're definitely friends of Here Walks Monsters. So.
Hey, and soon not only be friends, but you'll actually be in that dimension as well.
Hey man, sign me up. Sign me up.
You already signed yourself up. I don't have. You don't have to, it's already set.
Yeah,
but I'm looking to be a character. I'm looking for this
set in stone.
To be a character.
It's written in ink.
Again, that is in the works.
I'm going further than just the logo.
I line up all the stars in the sky. Because I don't want to go too far off the path first.
The stars. I mean, it's amazing, man. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and tell everybody to have a good night here, and thank you guys for coming. And we're going to do this again real soon. And watch for this comic and go to these links and check this out. This guy is doing amazing things. There are amazing things to come, I promise. So
It's worth your time to just
keep
click
it
that
in the
link.
loop.
He doesn't say that lightly, just for the record, anyone
don't
who
say
doesn't
that
know.
lightly.
Like,
That lightly.
if anyone who's listening doesn't know, now you
I'm
know.
impressed. I'm impressed, and that's a damn rare thing. So
Yeah,
you might be my
that
second
means a
favorite
lot.
short guy after Warwick Davis. We'll see.
Whew!
I'll keep you on the short list.
I win.
Keep you on the short list. All right.
Hey,
well,
that is a short list. I have no problem being on. You
Short list.
put the dink in there.
Warwick
you put the
Davis.
dink in there, and I'm the happiest person alive.
Yeah. You're probably in my top 5. So.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. Love you guys for being here. Appreciate you being on, and we'll see you again soon. All right.